Welcome to the Choice, Change and Action podcast, where you get to choose, change and take action to create a different today and a different future. These are my stories of choice, change and action, along with the phenomenal guests I have on here. From a really young age, I've always desired to create a change in the world. The planet has been a constant inspiration to me, and Access Consciousness has shown me the tools to know that anything is possible, and I keep choosing. What are you going to choose? Hi everybody, welcome to the Choice, Change and Action podcast. You are with me, just solo me, your host, Simone Milasas, and I am in Texas at the moment. I am up at a place, well, it's near Blyberville. Gary Douglas and Dr. Dane here, the founder and creator and co-creator of Access Consciousness, have a huge ranch up here, and we have a class here at the moment that is absolutely spectacular. If you ever get a chance to go to a class with Gary Douglas and or Dane here, together they are just so friggin' phenomenal. This class has just been absolutely off the charts. And I've been in South America and I'm heading home soon. And at the moment, like I said, I'm in Texas. If I can, at the end of this podcast, I'm just gonna show you some of the footage of where I'm staying, because for me, it's just so nurturing. It's always so beautiful and lovely to be out there in nature, because nature doesn't judge us. Nature doesn't buy our crap and our shit and our points of view. And it's like, I don't know, for me, I find it so relaxing and so nurturing. And when I'm in nature, there's just this beautiful allowance that I can have for me and all of my choices. Because one of the things I'm really working on at the moment is never, ever to go to the wrongness of me, and also never trying to get anything right. I mean, one of the things that Gary Douglas said a long time ago was most people would rather be right than be free. I can tell you it's a lot greater when you are not functioning from rightness and wrongness. There's a lot more choice available. And I have this big, beautiful tree outside my bedroom window here. And the other night it was so windy, and just to see the power and potency, you know, of this tree and nature, and it's just like, yeah, it's wonderful. So I love it. Highly recommend, if you haven't lately, get your sweet, sweet body out there in nature somewhere, and just even sit on the grass, walk on the grass with no shoes, you know, go put your hand on a tree. It's like, you know, they can chat to you, you can chat to them, and ask the earth, what can I contribute to you today? And here's the interesting thing, every single time I ask that, a lot of the times I hear this energy of like, will you receive from me? So truth, will you receive from the earth right now? Everything that the earth is asking for you to be. Oh yeah, the earth is asking for you to be you. So everything that is, times a godzillion, right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all nine, shorts, boys, perverts and beyonds. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the Access Consciousness Clearing Statement, which I'm sure if you've been listening to my podcast, you all know about that by now, but you can find out more at theclearingstatement.com. So I love that I came on here. I have a topic I actually want to talk to you all about, and the earth is like, hey, me. So the earth can interrupt me at any time it desires. So one of the topics I wanted to talk to you about, well, the topic I wanted to talk to you about today is on hesitancy and hesitating. Because how often do you hesitate with something that you would like to choose? So, you know, the way this came up in a class that we did recently, I did a class with Gary and Dane recently, and this came up, and it was like, we have this thing in that we, you know, I like to refer to it as like this hesitancy waltz, you know, like the waltz, the dance. So it's like, we'll have this dance with being hesitant on what we'd actually like to choose. And we hesitate to be, so we don't have to have everything that we can actually have. So if you look at, I'm going to name some of the really common topics that people think they have a problem with. One is going to be your body. I mean, how many of you are in total allowance of your body, are in total communion with your body? And that's a whole other topic. Oh my goodness. since I hurt myself in London, or my body just froze, and so many things have shown up since then. And one of the conversations I had with Gary was about not being in conflict with my body. And I've so noticed since there the demand to not be in conflict with my body and to be in question and see what shows up and be willing for anything to show up. Like me not controlling my body, what if my body was actually controlling me? And I mean in the way of, what are we eating? What are we drinking? What are we moving? How are we sleeping? Where are we going? Da da da. How much do we work? Not work? Blah blah blah. All of that, and listening to when my body goes, "Hey, this is what. Can we choose this now?" Instead of overriding it, actually choosing it and seeing what shows up. So, how many of you have this hesitancy waltz with your body, so that you never ever ever have to be in communion with it? And everything at that is times a godzillion. We destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all nine shorts, boys, provids and beyonds. Now that's your body. Now let's look at money. It's like, how many of you know that there's something different possible with money? And how many of you feel really comfortable in that place where you're always complaining about money, you always seem to have a problem with money, you know, all of that, because everybody else is doing it, so why wouldn't you do it? What if you stopped hesitating with what you could choose with money and you literally leaped forward and woke up in the morning and said, you know what action can I take today that would allow more money to show up? Here's the thing, what if it's not what you think it is? Because so many people go to, I'm so busy, I can't do anything else. I'm going to give you a little bit of a tool here of what if it's not about doing, what if it's about receiving? What if you literally, before you got up in the morning, you lay in bed and said, what can I receive today that I wasn't willing to receive yesterday? What would it take for so much money to show up in my life that I always had too much money and never enough? And all the hesitancy waltz that I'm playing with money and the amount of money that can show up in my life to create my life to be incredibly ease, will you destroy and uncreate it? Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all nine shorts, boys, provids and beyonds. Okay, now look at business. Ooh, that is interesting. I always find it interesting when I'm doing a podcast and I'm sitting here on my own and I bring something up and there's this huge energy to it. But here's the thing, when I record a podcast, I'm also tapping into everybody who's going to be listening to this, you know, now and also in the future. So if you look at business, now even the word business brings up a whole lot of crap in people's worlds. They're like, you know, you have this memory of something. For me, you know, business was always, I don't know, my dad was going off to work, you know, with a suit and tie and his briefcase, and he was gone 6.5 days of the week. And, you know, so for me, that equaled business, right? Business is everywhere. I mean, one of the things I always say is if you wake up in the morning and get out of bed and you've got blood running through your veins, you are in business, because your life is your business and your business is your life. How are you creating your life? How are you choosing your life? Even if you have a family and, you know, you're a stay-at-home mum, that's your business, okay? Whatever it is you're choosing every single day is the business you call your life. Now, you could actually have a company, you could have, you know, anything. You could be working, you know, with somebody else, for somebody else. It could look so many different ways. But how often are you hesitating to choose what you know is possible in business? And what are you hesitating for? Are you waiting for others to catch up? Are you waiting for someone to acknowledge you? Are you waiting for somebody else to create it before you choose it? And everything that is times a godzillion, we destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all nine shorts, boys, provids and beyonds. So what hesitancy are you choosing with business that if you didn't choose it would allow you to be so out of control with business that you had way too much money and way too much fun? And everything that is times a godzillion, we destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all nine shorts, boys, provids and beyonds. And the way hesitancy works is the reason you hesitate is because you have decided that there is something that you cannot be or you don't want to be. Now, if you break that down, there is so much in that. So what if you decided you cannot be? What if you decided you cannot be with your body? What if you decided you cannot be with money? What if you decided you cannot be with business? What if you decided you cannot be in relationships? And everything that is times a godzillion, we destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all nine shorts, boys, perverts, and beyonds. Now, here's another question, is what if you decided you don't want to be? Now, this is usually where like the insane point of view comes along, because how many of you decided you don't want to be, have too much money because then you'll be too rich and all rich people are assholes? Aren't they? No, they're not. Money doesn't make you an asshole. You choose to be an asshole because you're an asshole. That's just the way it works. Money just creates more of who you are and who you be and what possibilities you can choose. So what else is it that you've decided you don't want to be? Now, when I say this, you go, what? That doesn't make any sense. How many of you don't actually desire to be successful? Because what comes with success? Everybody's going to want your money. Everybody's going to want you to pay for everything. You're going to have to look after your family. Maybe it's going to be all taken away. You're going to be stressed out. You're going to be anxious. You're going to be too busy. All of that is bullshit. That is not something that you need to choose. It is a choice for you to choose that, but you can choose something entirely different. So everything that is times a godzillion, where you destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all nine shorts, boys, perverts, and beyonds. Wow. So what if you decided hesitation will give you that being will not? Will hesitation make you normal? Does it put you in the normal category? Are you ready to stop being normal? How many of you are hesitating and waiting for permission to be you? Here it is, ladies and gentlemen, auspicious moment. Be you. Start being you today, right now. And everything that is times a godzillion, we destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all nine shorts, boys, perverts, and beyonds. How many reasons and justifications do you have for hesitating? Like I hear a lot of the times people say in business, I'd love to start this, I'd love to do this, etc. Oh, but I don't have the money. That's a reason and justification. I would love to, choose this, choose that, blah, blah, blah. Oh, but always I don't have the money, and then I don't have the time. Reason and justification. Okay. So how many reasons and justifications are you using to never be choosing what you could be? And everything that is times a godzillion, we destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all nine shorts, boys, perverts, and beyonds. What if you woke up? I'm going to give you some home play. What if tomorrow morning you woke up? Again, I know you've heard me say this a million times, but I really like it. It's like just putting my hands on my body somewhere and just being super grateful for my body, because you're in this life together, okay? You and your body. That's it, okay? You have all these people who come and go. You have, these amazing possibilities show up. It's you and your body. What are you going to choose with your body, okay? So you put your hands on your body somewhere and be super grateful. It's like, I'm so sorry for judging the fuck out of you. I'm not going to choose that anymore. I'm not going to hesitate with you. I'm going to be in communion with you. And what is it we would like to choose to create today? What action can we take? Now, notice I'm not going, what do you have to do? It's not about what do you have to do. What can I be today? What can I be that would create something greater for me and the planet? Like, it's just a question, okay? Do you notice that with this, it's about being in question, and it's not going to answer, it's not trying to, get the result that you think you need to get. It's not going to a conclusion. It's about being in question. What question can you ask today? What action can you take? If you want to increase your business, ask, what action can I take? Business, show me what else is possible. You want to have more money? Money. Show me what else is possible. Literally, show me the money. We all know that movie, Jerry Maguire, Yell it out, scream it out, play with this stuff. Don't hesitate, play with it. This is your life. Are you choosing to truly, truly live it? And how many of you go, oh, if I only had choice, I wish I had choice. If I had choice, I would choose this. Guess what? You do have choice. And how many of you hesitate on being you and choosing based on, like I said before, you're waiting for permission. You're waiting for every single other person to choose it. What's possible? What is possible that you have not chosen because you are hesitating to be everything that will come with it? And everything that is, and all the energies you have decided that you will refuse for the rest of your life, so you can keep complaining for the rest of your life, so that you can be normal for the rest of your life and you can be the same as everybody else. Oh yeah, but you're not the same as anyone. Will you please destroy and uncreate that? Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all nine shorts, boys, perverts and beyonds. So I'm going to talk a little bit about more business as well. I'm going to do a little plug for myself because I have a Business Done Different class coming up. And this is interesting. I wrote Joy of Business, I keep saying 16 years ago, but I think it might be even longer now. It might be like more 17, 18 years. And it's translated into, I think, 16, 17 languages. We have it in Audible, in a lot of different languages and moving on that as well. And the way Joy Business came about too was a conversation with Gary Douglas, the founder of Access Consciousness. And he said to me, Simone, you look at business in such a different way. I was delusional and thought that everybody looked at business the way I did because I thought people chose business because it was fun. I have learned that that is not true. But here's the thing, you have so many insane points of view about what you think business is that you refuse to actually choose it. You avoid it, you hesitate. What if you were not hesitating? What if you were so much more brilliant than you think you are? So, he was the one who encouraged me to go and do classes. And of course I hesitated doing the classes because I thought, I don't want to sit on stage just talking about this stuff. I'd actually like to be creating business. And then I soon realized how many people were so grateful for the tools of Access Consciousness and using them in business and the freedom it gave them. And that matched the energy of what it is that I would like to choose. So then I started doing the classes and then, put it into a book, etc. And can I tell you how much I hesitated getting that book out? It took me so long. I would reread it again. I'd add something else. I would do something else, hesitate, until Gary said to me, Simone, get the book out there. Everything that you want to add to it, that's your next book. And I went, oh, that's a great idea. That's my next book. So I did, I released it. And I was so hesitant to receive the energies that I hadn't even totally looked at when I released that book. Because somewhere in my world, I thought people are going to go, this book is shit, they're going to hate it, da da da. But you know what I actually wasn't willing to receive? I wasn't willing to receive the gratitude. I wasn't willing to receive the accolades. I wasn't willing to receive how great the book was. We're so easily will receive the judgment, the failure, the, oh, look how shit we are, etc. But what if you actually started receiving the energies of where people are super grateful for you and you become an influence in people's lives? What if the business you choose, the ideas you have, is actually influential to the entirety of the world? Would you be willing to receive that? Will you stop hesitating on being everything that you can be in your life and business so that you can influence the world? Because God knows the fucking planet is asking us to be so much greater. It's asking us to be us. Will you please destroy and uncreate everything that is? Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all nine shorts, boys, perverts and beyonds. And I was actually talking to Gary last night about Joy Business and how when it first started out, it was almost like this friggin' secret club. It was like someone coming to a class and they were like embarrassed to be going to a Joy of Business class. Now, Joy of Business as a business has this heartbeat of its own and it's loud and there's so many people who are embracing it around the world. I'm looking at going to the Middle East in January and with David Kubis, who a lot of you guys know, he's been on my podcast a lot, and introducing a whole lot of like leadership classes and working with staff, etc. So we are even expanding what we are choosing now. And it's growing so fast. And I really love that people are using the Access Consciousness tools in business. And it can be so simple as asking a question, changing your point of view, changing your attitude, be willing to receive. Remember I mentioned that before? It wasn't like, let's add 50 billion things to your day so that you're just doing. And at the end of the day, you're just so exhausted. So you end up having a judgment about business and you hate it. That's not what I'm asking. What can you receive? What can you be today? Everywhere that you're hesitating to have business in your life be so friggin' easy, will you destroy and uncreate it? Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, 9 shorts, boys, perverts and beyonds. I would love to invite you to find a Joy Business facilitator around the world. There's many of them. You can go to accessjoybusiness.com. And I've also got a class that's online only, and it starts on the 11th of September. It goes for 4 days. So starts on my 11th till the 14th of September, and it starts at my 8 a.m. So my 8 a.m. to 11:30, that's Australian Eastern Standard Time. So, you can find where that is in the world for you. I would love you to join up. So you can go to SimoneMilasas.com/BDD. And here's the thing, this class is one that so many people have hesitated to choose. My question to you is, what are you hesitating for? What are you avoiding? What are you refusing to choose? What energy? And again, I know it makes no sense, but how many of you are refusing the energy of way too much money? How many of you are refusing the energy of life just being friggin' fun and just off the charts? Oh my God, how did I get so lucky? How many of you are refusing the energy of success? What if today was the day that you stopped refusing all of that and you started receiving it? And everything that is times a godzillion, where you destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, 9 shorts, boys, perverts and beyonds. So please check it out. And here I'm going to see if I can, if you are following us on Spotify, great, thanks for listening. You do know that we are on YouTube as well, so you can check that out. And I'm just going to take you outside to hot Texas and just show you. I know, so if you want to check us out on YouTube, go over there. But look at this space. Let me see if I can do this. It's just like, oh my goodness. I don't know if you can, it's not actually showing up that clearly, but anyway. Go to my Instagram, check that out, and go to Choice, Change and Action Instagram, and also my Instagram, and follow us there. And I'm going to do some footage of this ranch, and so that you can check that out and see that too. So don't hesitate being you. Choose today. Be you. Thank you so much for joining me here today, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye. If you enjoyed this podcast, please make sure to hit the follow or subscribe button on your favorite listening platform to get notified of new episodes. We read all the reviews, so if there's any topic you would like to hear about, let us know. If you'd like to know more about the tools, information, and classes mentioned in the podcast, head on over to SimoneMilasas.com and follow me on Instagram at Simone Milasas, or the podcast has its very own link on Instagram at Choice, Change and Action. Don't forget, you can download the show notes. And lastly, have way too much fun today.